Society instills in us from an early age the idea that we should be generous, share, and prioritize kindness over our personal interests. However, at times we encounter warnings about the dangers of being too kind and compassionate. We live in a world where we don't always receive what we give, as it is filled with generous individuals who deplete their financial and energy resources through indiscriminate donations. If this is your first time on this channel, I ask for your help by subscribing and liking the video so I can continue creating more content like this in the future. Could excessive generosity even endanger our own lives? Be amazed by the unexpected negative effects that kindness can bring you. Today, I will reveal the 8 things that happen to you for being too good and introduce 4 Stoic strategies to prevent people from taking advantage of you. Let's start with the first one. You will have unrealistic expectations of people. The Stoics emphasize the need to accept circumstances as they are and not base our happiness on the actions of others. By giving without expecting too much in return, you avoid disappointment and practice emotional detachment, leading to greater peace of mind. Imagine this scenario. You strive to be generous and kind, giving your best to others without expecting anything in return. This attitude is noble, but often we find ourselves consciously or unconsciously expecting others to respond with the same level of generosity. However, what happens when these expectations are not met? The problem lies in our expectations. By assuming that others will respond in the same way as us, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control the actions of others, only our own. It's hard to be completely altruistic when we give everything expecting others to do the same. You become so accustomed to doing everything for them that they take for granted that you can handle everything, especially your responsibilities. The truth is that your expectations of reciprocity will not always be met, and you will feel frustrated and disappointed. True wealth lies in our ability to give without expecting anything in return, finding joy in the act of giving itself and maintaining our peace of mind regardless of others' responses. Continuing, the second thing that happens is that people will only expect you to give them something. The practice of moderation, highly valued by the Stoics, becomes an anchor in a sea of endless demands. Instead of yielding to others' unlimited requests, Stoicism urges us to balance our generosity. By giving in a balanced manner, we maintain control over our actions and avoid falling into patterns that erode our emotional well-being. Often, people adapt to comfortable situations and environments, which prevents them from growing. By assuming their responsibilities, we are allowing them to remain in their comfort zones. We find ourselves caught in a cycle of giving without receiving, depleting our energy and undermining our emotional well-being. Practicing moderation and giving in a balanced way allows us to maintain our emotional well-being and encourage others to take on their own responsibilities. The third thing that happens is that your priorities will be trampled on. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living according to reason and virtue, setting boundaries, and prioritizing our own responsibilities. If you're giving everything for other people's priorities, you may find yourself running away from something within yourself that causes you pain and fear. The next time you feel tempted to flee from yourself in constant service to others, take a moment to acknowledge those uncomfortable emotions that arise in solitude. Allow yourself to be authentic in your desires and needs, set healthy boundaries, and learn to say no when necessary. The fourth thing that happens is that you will be seen as weak and treated as such. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate inner strength and self-control, setting boundaries, and practicing self-discipline. By saying no firmly but respectfully, people begin to perceive you differently. You are no longer someone willing to carry everything without complaint, but someone who values themselves enough to set boundaries. The fifth thing that happens is that you'll encounter a lot of buts. People will only come to you when they need something. When you become someone willing to help unconditionally, it's natural for people to start noticing. However, this attention can have a dark side. People who once considered you a good friend might begin to exclude you from fun social activities, reserving your presence only for when they need something. The sixth thing that happens is that you might fall into addiction. The Stoics warn us about the possibility of falling into addictive patterns that can arise when we constantly feel exhausted and needy due to our overextension. Practicing self-discipline protects us from falling into addictive traps, such as overeating, excessive drinking, or gaming, which can undermine our health and well-being. Always remember to pay attention to the warning signs that come to you through the people close to you. Accept their observations with humility and gratitude, as they come from a genuine place of care and love for you. By taking these observations seriously, you're demonstrating deep consideration for your own well-being and a genuine commitment to your personal growth and long-term happiness. The seventh thing that happens is that you'll only attract needy people and never those willing to give. According to Stoic philosophy, our actions and thoughts emit energy that attracts people with similar resonances. When we cultivate a positive mental and emotional state, we radiate high vibrations that attract equally positive, generous, and genuine individuals. Lastly, the eighth thing that happens is that you might arouse suspicion. Although we desire for people to admire us and appreciate our kindness, the reality is that genuinely kind people are not abundant in this world. Therefore, if you are one of them, you might arouse suspicion instead of admiration and gratitude. This can lead you to encounter distrustful people who question your intentions and see you as someone with hidden motives. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that the best measure in life is always the middle ground. Generosity must be balanced. Giving without measure and without restrictions can deplete our own emotional and physical reserves. Therefore, it is essential to practice self-discipline and moderation in our generosity. By doing so, we maintain our vibrations at a higher frequency and attract people who value our authenticity and are willing to contribute reciprocally in the relationship. Always remember that your time and energy are valuable and should be consciously and balancedly allocated. Establishing clear boundaries and prioritizing your own needs is not selfishness. It is a form of self-care and preservation of your authenticity. By living according to Stoic principles, you will find a true human connection based on honesty, reciprocity, and integrity. In summary, practicing balanced generosity and maintaining clear boundaries will allow you to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. So remember always to listen to your feelings, lose the fear of saying no, reserve time and space for yourself. Identify energy vampires and distance yourself from them, and attract people who truly value your genuine help and support. Follow these principles, and you will find lasting balance in your relationships and in your life overall. Remember, kindness is a powerful virtue when practiced with balance and wisdom. If this content has been helpful or interesting to you, we invite you to share your opinion in the comments and share it with those who may benefit from these reflections. Your support drives us to continue creating valuable content for you and our community. Together, we can cultivate conscious and balanced generosity. Thank you for being part of this journey towards a fuller and more authentic life.